These 3 realizations or shifts are going to come to you when you are about to be a brand new woman. I just made 2 videos about being a super outlier, about being an outcast and being different. And then I took a break and I was listening to someone and they were talking about how it's a lot of people are finding 2025 really hard time to be alive, but those people, they're trying to be what you are. If you're an outlier, an outcast, maybe you haven't had a corporate life, maybe you fucked up your finances. People are leaving corporate jobs to become more creative. So you're already a step ahead. And it's also never too late to change your life around and completely transform your identity and reinvent yourself. I'm not going to always film from here, but I think we might have found a good spot for me to do my lives. I like it. Also, do you want me to move from spot to spot? Or, I don't know. Let me know what you want to see. I don't think this is going to be a very long video, and these are in no particular order. The first one is, it becomes a privilege. It's a privilege. You are, whatever your dream or goal is in life that you have, that is part of the new you, the reinvented you, it's a new identity you want to embody, it's a transformation you want to make in yourself. You are capable of doing it with absolutely nothing. In fact, you don't even need a goal. You don't even need a carrot. David Goggins talks about this. When you can find motivation, when you can have discipline without even having a marathon you're planning to run in 3 months, an exam you're going to take, this is what it is. You see that it's actually a privilege that you get to express yourself and be yourself by transforming your life, by shifting, by being the best version of yourself. So you will get that perspective. It's a strange shift, and I think for these you might have to take my word for it if you're in a hard place, but that's what my videos are for. I want to help people who are in a hard place I was before I transformed. Just take my word for it that these are the perspectives that will come either after you've just shifted or when you're just about to make a huge shift to be a new woman entirely. You'll see it as a privilege. Whether maybe you start running, you'll just love it as the privilege that it is. The joy is in the work. And I know that sounds far-fetched if you're not disciplined at the moment. Or I did this a lot. I started many online businesses, and if you're a really fast learner and you're really intelligent, which if you're an outcast and an outlier, if you're watching my channel, you're probably different. So if you're really fast learner, you probably tried things that were not actually authentic to you and they were hard work. So then you might hear me say the work becomes the joy, the work feels like a privilege, and you'll be like, no, that's not my experience, but it is. It's what will happen. You just have to take my word for it. It also was, I understand, I've been there. That was how I thought, because my experience up till the shift was that things were hard, but that was because I was doing things that were not authentic, that were not my purpose. The next thing is, you have the foresight that you will get bored. In the past, what I would think was that you have to live your passion, you have to live your purpose, and when you find it, when you do it, everything will be joyful and easy. And it's a paradox, which I love paradoxes. It does become easy. Before I met my husband 12 years ago, I was manifesting like a complete badass, and I was living super free and joyful, even as I was still having hardships and I had not transformed. I had to go through all that. But there was a time where everything was on easy mode, and now I'm getting back to that again. Unfortunately, my relationship with my family during the last 10 years, like, I fell out of that and into the pits of hell. And now I'm coming back and finding myself again. When you find your true authentic self, things will become easy. But you will get the foresight that things also lose their honeymoon period. They lose when it comes to working on your projects and goals. I'm not necessarily talking about relationships here, because if things are hard in your relationship, you probably need to walk out the door, and that's just my opinion. But of course I don't tell anyone to leave, because you have to make that decision. Like, I stayed in mine, and a lot of the times I thought, okay, marriage is supposed to be hard, so I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying stick with everything that isn't the right fit for you, even if it's boring. But I'm saying even the things that are the right fit for you, if you find your purpose and your passion, and there's hard work, even you find that flow and the joy is in the work, it is something that you can have foresight and you can anticipate and know you'll probably get a little bit bored here and there, and it's due to burnout. And I've experienced some really heavy burnout. Your body will tell you, no, I can't do this. But if you anticipate it, if you know it's happening, then you can get through it. And when you've shifted as a person from like a consumer to a creator, from like a person living kind of hellish situations to wholesome situations, like you're transforming from A to X, not even from A to Z, not even from A to B. You're like transcending and becoming a completely reinvented, incredible version of yourself. Reality gets to be amazing, but there's still that hardship and boredom sometimes, even in projects that are your life's work. So you do anticipate that, you become a more resilient person. I like to reference David Goggins a lot. Sometimes you just have to be a bit tough love on yourself and not give in to every single whim and emotion, and push through and not think, just do. Shift number 3 that happens, and yes, this is going to be an incredibly short video, is you will see the mediocrity in all the rest of the world. This sounds arrogant, but it's not. If you're an outlier and an outcast, you probably have a lot of integrity. You don't really have arrogance. That's what causes you to get mistreated. You bound up to people like a puppy. You're open, you overshare. You put yourself out there. You don't know how to put boundaries necessarily. But when you're shifting, you'll see how even some of the people that seem to be doing really well are just so mediocre, just so average. They're not going to go further. They don't want to go further. They want to achieve things that are visible to others as like exterior visible success. And of course you can want that too, and we all want that, but it's kind of a if you really achieve success, that sort of exterior stuff is a byproduct. It just comes out of your vision board into your hands. I like to say, like, it's a result of transforming yourself. It's not the goal of transforming yourself. So those mediocre people will have those mediocre goals. You will shift to a transcendent sort of place. It's not arrogance, once again, where you can reach your highest potential, and your potential was always so much more. And everybody has this potential, like every human being on the planet. But if you're an outlier and an outcast, you're starting from a higher place. Those people that don't have that light in them are starting from a darker place. They actually have further to go than you to transcend and reach the heights of human potential. When your eyes open up to the mediocrity in the rest of the world in a non-arrogant way, it just sets you free. It gets you out of the cage, where you can then think about how you're going to make yourself not mediocre. Or it's not even something you have to try necessarily, but it is something that you can think about, and it's just a new lifestyle. It's a new way of living life. Okay, that was very short and sweet. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.